This is a one-speaker meeting. Please welcome our tonight's speaker, Michael.
Yeah.
Hi. I'm Michael, and I'm an alcoholic. Michael! I could say an addict, but it's all the same. You know, it's the persistence in the face of evidence of destruction, the persistence of looking to solve the inside without the outside. I think that's pretty much the way I sum it up. I don't know, it could be cars, it could be, I don't know what it is, but for me it was, I think the most destructive things were drinking and drugs. But under that was probably something that was bubbling all the time, or at least as far back as I can remember. I'm sure that this is genetic. I do go along with that assessment, but you know, I mean, I also remember like waking up, circumstances hadn't changed. I was a kid, you know, and I remember waking up of a morning and feeling this strange feeling, which later on I became cognizant of as depression. Suddenly everything was sort of very murky and inexplicably sad and melancholic, and circumstances hadn't changed. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that other people didn't suffer from this. I thought that, you know, I guess that's what happened. I never went to my parents and said, I feel strangely melancholic. or words to that effect. You know what I mean? I just didn't do that. And maybe part of that is that like so much of alcoholism, it learns to feel ashamed of feeling bad. So I feel bad about feeling bad. That's how bad it is when you're an untreated alcoholic. And I think we're the only people who really, although there are other mental illnesses, and certainly this is one of them, that are equally tormenting and devious like that. To feel bad for feeling bad. Yeah, you almost want to apologize to people, you know what I mean? It's like, but then you'd have to reveal that you were feeling bad, and that would blow the whole thing, because maybe the only thing stronger than shame is denial for us. But I think there's a lot of shame in underneath the alcoholism, certain events, and then not expressing, you know, not talking about those events. I'm sure that contributed to it. I always felt apart from. I always felt that I had to kind of claw my way into any kind of acceptance from people. And I think I was one of those that managed to construct this kind of very pliant protean foundation that could accommodate, you know, and become what it was you needed around you in order to have you like me. I was certainly not anticipating having an alcohol or drug problem. I was a pretty, you know, I was a pretty disciplined kid, A student, you know, but when I look back at it, it's funny, of course, until you get some recovery time in you, it's amazing how of course, till you get any recovery time in you, you don't think you're an alcoholic either, so it's amazing the other stuff that comes up, you know. Yeah, it's like all that time you had the disease, and then it's like the moment you rehab, and it's like, that's what it is. Yeah, I thought it was, nah. And you've heard it 1,000 times, but it's no less true the 1,001st. You know, we're not bad people trying to be good people. We're just sick people trying to get well. When they told me that in rehab, I was really relieved. Oh, that was a weight off my shoulders, you know, because I knew I stood a chance. And before I forget, thanks, Bob, for inviting me to speak. Robert's one of the very few people that I've actually known through using, rehab, and recovery. So that's pretty good. There aren't many. And that's just not mathematical. That's just, the chances of us getting sober are still sadly pretty slim. So you got to be proud of yourself. And I don't care what people say about, pride will cause you to. It's like, yeah. Be proud of yourself. This is a really brave thing to do. This is really heroic. It really is, in the greatest, richest sense of that word. It really is. Oh, and welcome to the Heaven Forfend You Should Just Be a Human Being Club. In case you didn't know where you were, that's where we are now. If you're a recovering alcoholic, you get to be a bona fide member of that club, and I kind of like it. Probably didn't like it so much at first because it meant I'd have to probably watch all the lovely suffering and misery go away. And, that becomes a pretty tight little companion there for a while. And, yeah. And, it's true. You just have to, we like it a lot. I mean, it's like, I think our wires are just crossed. Just that one wrong, it's like the yellow goes into the white and the blue goes into the yellow. And it's like, it's just, if it's painful, I'm going to gravitate toward it. And if it's really good for me, I'm going to run like hell. I bet there's a newcomer in the room now, or even people with time thinking, oh yeah, but good things are boring. You get 11 years and change, man. Right? A little telepathic. It's just that we can relate, yeah, and I guess to all the new guys again, if you're sitting here thinking I'm never going to have any fun, well, I guess my first thing would be I doubt you're having too much fun right now, and never forget that pain, because that'll certainly help with that relapse problem. If you can just remember the bottom, everybody remember that thing, because that euphoric recall is going to happen. In the right lighting, circumstance, place, time, people, it'll try to bite you, and that's why the meetings are good. That's why all of this is good. Remember that bottom, man, if you ever forget to do something today that you think you need to do for recovery, just try closing your eyes somewhere, nice and quiet, and just remember the sweating, nervous, erratic, couldn't function, should I stand here or there? Wait, no, that's wrong. No, hold it. Wait, no, hold on. Waking up in that somebody's house and like 3 people are like asleep and passed out and like stepping over the smell, and then walking out on that 85-degree day, can't find your car. Oh, you gotta walk down Sunset Plaza. It's a good thing we laugh about it now, see? But I tell you, when you're alone and you close your eyes and you remember that, you won't be laughing. Because that hurt. That was not the feeling I was looking for initially. The feeling I found initially, what I discovered was that I think the voices in my head shut up. That's pretty much where drugs and alcohol had the attraction for me. I got to quiet down a lot of voices in my head. And I like to just call it the old God. Oh, and new guys, you'll hear this word God bandied about a bit in the program, but just try to remember that it's the only thing that's underlined and mentioned twice on those steps are the words "as we understand them," which means as you understand them. That's yours to create. Got nothing to do with any institution. So that's a nice bit of license, isn't it? I guess the only thing I'll say about that, because it's a very personal thing to me, I think it doesn't belong to anyone else to tell you what it is. But I just think if it's causing you suffering, it's probably not the right one. So that's the only clue I'll give you. I mean, I've certainly learned that anything causes me suffering is first of all happening in my head and nowhere else, and that it's a lie. It's a lie told to me by an illness. It was then. It was when I started recovering. It is today. It always will be. You know, and there's no quota. You're not supposed to have like sympathy for this thing. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I know I haven't let you pat me around for a while because I've been doing this sober thing. So why don't you just come back and we'll have a little visit and you can get to beat me up a little. And you know, I mean, I wouldn't want to throw you out. You know, it's like throw it out. Just get rid of it. It's just a mean, merciless, torturous, horrible thing. This thing in our heads. You know, there isn't a crazy person I've ever come across that's as mad and sadistic as the thing in my head, you know, or as patient. But that's why I'm here, you know, and that's what drugs and booze used to do for me. Well, not booze really, it was very fine wine. I'm not a drunk, I'm a connoisseur, God damn it. Nothing under $150. Yeah, and I think I said to myself, or somebody told me, they said, okay, I want you to picture this. Okay, Skid Row, bottle of booze, middle-aged. Okay, now I want you to picture Park Avenue, middle-aged, bottle of booze. And I was like, oh yeah, the person on Park Avenue doesn't seem to have a problem. Alcoholic thinking, of course. But it's the voices in my head. And that's what the chemicals did for me. Finally, they would shut up and I could have some goddamn fun. You know? I finally had something that was mine. And what's mine is important to me. And it should always be important to me. And that's how I kind of first discovered what was mine, other than, I guess, creativity. But that didn't bring me much sort of social relief. You know, it didn't bring me much, it didn't bring me sort of lots of friends, and it didn't bring me, that was sort of something that was pretty solitary. And, yeah, so that's what it did for me. You know, it was so much freedom so fast, you know. It was just like, oh, thank God. My dad's voice just went away, my mom's, my brother's, my teachers, the God in my head. Everything that I was told is right. And I could be me. And to this day, I will never deny that. I will never say, I will never regret that. I will never sit there and go, but that wasn't me, that was me high. It's like, no, that was certainly a part of you that needed to get out of that cage in your head. So, you know, like we say, thank God for drugs and alcohol. But sadly, you know, we go on the discovery project a little longer than is necessary. And I was like, wait, I think, yeah, gets a little remedial after a while. And then it just becomes really painful. And then we still carry on, or at least I did. I couldn't allow myself to join the human being club, you know? And I'm sure the continued and, you know, the raised stakes were part of, you know, just continually trying to shut down those voices in my head. Because I'm sure when it was like, you know, I was clearing up or coming to, it was like, oh my God, I had fun. Ah, you know, I'm such a bad person, I know it. I shouldn't be having fun. Life is suffering. Yeah, you know, I don't believe that pain is the only teacher. I think we have a natural inclination as living creatures to learn things, and I really believe that if I'm inclined naturally to learn, and if I believe that the only way to learn is through pain, man, I'm probably not going to stay sober too long. I got to tell you, happiness is a really good teacher too. Yep, it really, really is. Because I'll tell you, because that pain that I felt at the end, well, that's the worst pain I've ever felt, and there was a point where I went, you know, that's enough of that lesson. I'm leaving this classroom. Rehab was easy. I don't know. I mean, I know lots of people say, God, it was really tough to, you know. I think the most I resisted was, I think I said to this guy who was trying to get me in rehab, I think I said, like, couldn't I just go to the gym more or something? And I remember, it was Tommy. Yeah. And I remember he said, "You think this is about push-ups?" I was like, I thought, even then, I thought I still had a slim, like, well, maybe that and some curls, or I don't know. Just got to do it more regularly. Yeah. But that was about the point of my. That's about the extent of my resistance. And I was there from the time he mentioned it to the time I went there was about 2 days. And I tell you, it was so nice to be able to fall down and people would catch you. That's how it felt all the time. There was always someone there. So this idea of help, which is important, and which I think is something that was reinforced and continues to be reinforced in this program. It's really important. Because of course, if you live in a shame-based head, it's very unlikely you're going to ask for help. Because I'm sure part of what reinforces shame and nourishes it is the idea that you're on your own. You make your bed, you lie in it. Those things. We're all taught. My dad used to say things like, and don't get me wrong, he's got some great things about him, my dad, but he knows what he knows, and he did the best he could. He used to say things like, when you get up in the morning, you should hit the ground running. Boy, there's a recipe for sanity, huh? Fucking great. Okay. So I think I spent a lot of my time doing that. Therefore, my drug of choice was cocaine. A lot of hitting the ground and running. Sometimes simultaneously. A lot of running. Boy, the world just couldn't go fast enough. Look, Dad, look, I'm running. I'm so busy doing nothing. Oh, if only I was doing nothing. That would have been better. But, one day in my sobriety, I actually kind of, in one of those moments of solitude and quiet, because, of course, you can't do that until you're sober. You can't be still. I don't care if your drug's heroin. You can't be still. So in those newly found and appreciated moments of stillness, and there are many, many more of them now, it's like I saw this guy getting out of bed and running. I just saw, I don't think it was me, but it was just some guy. Like he throws off the covers and he starts running. And I just thought that poor fucker. That was me. That's what I thought that's what some other sick guy told me was the way to run your life. And I'm not hitting no ground and running for nothing. It's the opposite. I'm waking up slowly, nice and slow. Because I don't have to run from anything. I don't have to run from the voices in my head. And if they try, if I hear that one thing, you're going to get cancer, you're going to be homeless, you're never going to lap to other people, but not you. They're going to take everything that's good now, but wait, just you wait. Blah, blah, blah. We've all got that program, I don't let it get to the second sentence now. I probably allowed more of it to happen in the beginning, but as time went on and I stayed sober, I really didn't get much of a foot in the door anymore, you know what I mean? I had the guards, I had you know what I mean? They're all out there. It's all looking after me. So much looks after me. So many good things find me. So many good things found me. And I realized that when I got sober too. A lot of good things find me. Not just when I was sober, but a lot of good things find me. So all this running and panicking and trying and obsessing and effort about making good things come to you is really kind of futile. Why is it that only bad things will find me and I've got to spend my day, why do I have to inveigh against that all day? Because, the perimeter is surrounded by things that want to destroy me. It's like, what a terrible vision to have. What a sick thing to think. A sick thing to think. That's just sick. It's a sickness. Why do we enjoy it? Because we're not well. It's really that simple. It is a mental disorder. When they say physically and mentally and spiritually different, okay, that's what they mean. So, I got out of rehab. 24 days, yeah. And I remember thinking, I remember like other people were there for like 28, 35, 50, 60, whatever. And I thought, oh boy, they're really giving me the short end. This is a trick. Going to rehab's easy, leaving's hard. That's one thing I realized in rehab. Boy, that leaving thing was rough, wasn't it? It was like, whoa, they'd have the celebration. And then I was like, I'm not participating in the celebration because I don't want to go. I'd go up to the nurses, are you sure I should leave? Oh, Michael, you're so much better. Like, oh, wait a minute. Went to my first meeting, was on Fairfax and Fountain, that little church there. And I remember walking up to the door and saying to myself, oh, God, look at you. You stupid fuck. Look what your life has come to. Now you're one of these people. Genius. Ha! This is what you are, pal. Okay, you're down here. Funny how when you're in a, $2,000 a night hotel suite with a bunch of drugs and people that now you probably wouldn't even give a stick of gum to, and it smells like someone's gonna die, and they did. Maybe not that night, but a few weeks afterward. You never looked around and said, oh boy, now I'm one of these people. Boy, oh boy, this doesn't look so good. When that guy died, you never said, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. So I went to my first meeting that way and pretty much disabused myself of that, self-flagellation rather quickly. But people were always there to help me. There were always people to call. I was pretty fortunate. I didn't have to grab a job right away. I slept like 15, 16 hours a day. I was truly, physically, everything, that's all I could do. You know what I mean? And thank God that I went to rehab. I don't know, because that's where I learned that it's okay to do that. That's where I learned that, we'd be in classes and of purportedly the utmost seriousness. And, I'd start to fall asleep and I was waiting for the counselor to go, wake up! God damn it, this is counseling! And they never did. Well, they'd be like, why don't you lie down? First thought to go through my head was, oh, you're tricking me. It's a trick. I know it's a trick because I'm supposed to be working and working and doing and working and doing and working and doing and working and doing and working. One day, one of the counselors brought me in and she said, I hear that you're running around, sort of running around campus. Sort of like people are seeing you running places with this look of like mortal dread on your face. What's that about? I said, well, I gotta get my steps done and my assignments and I gotta read stuff and say, and I never even finished that first, that thing where we signed in and we went to the nurse's office and we had to tell I only got to 8 and then she said, that's fine. I said, but I gotta go back and do up to 10. I know I gotta finish that. She said, Michael, here's our new assignment. I said, what? Pin at the ready. What is it? Because I'm ready to run around faster and be even more mental and be futile to the nth degree. What is it? She said, I want you to do nothing. I went, what? What do you mean do nothing? I want you, and I'm serious, and this is not a trick, and it's not a gag, and it's not a prank. I'm not being underhanded. You're not going to find out on graduation day that you lag behind and point at me and go, but she said I could, and I'm going to go, another stupid sucker. Should have kept running, that's the point. She said, I want you to do nothing. She said, I don't want to hear about you running or even walking quickly. I want you to slow way down. And we'll be talking enough about the steps. I don't want you to do this. Give me all your books. Give me all the paper and all the pens and put them down right now. No notes, nothing. You need to learn to do nothing. And realize that some things, I don't know what it is, but other things are actually helping you. was a hard lesson for a guy like me to learn. But you will find it here. You will. Not from everyone, but from certain people. Some, more sometimes than others, but you will. And then the steps, there they are, 1 through 12. A lot easier to do than they are to think about. I truly don't know where the I don't know where the Marcel Proust Literary Society started in here, but there was so much writing going on when I first came to these rooms. I was like, oh my God, I was like, this is what they told me not to do. I was like, now I'm back at it again. I can do that. There are actually only 2 steps that involve writing. One's 4, and the other one's 8. Yeah, you could do a little there. Just, I don't. I can see the columns in my head after I've done 4 enough times. What about 10? But what about 10, man? I gotta work. I gotta be in some kind of pain. That's what it's all about. I'm sure of it. I had a sponsee once. Did you ever have one of these guys? The stack. That 5th step stack. Somebody came up with like 850,000 questions and made them somehow officially part of the program. And they go through these questions, and this guy brings in this stack like a lawyer or something. I'm like, oh my God. And that's that stack, that's those things he's gonna do the 800,000 for. Oh God. Oh my God, you asshole. And he did them, and I sat there at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know why I did. I don't know why I just didn't. Oh, because I didn't have enough self-esteem at the time. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I didn't have enough self-esteem to go, look, before you start, okay, that thing, that pile, I want you to, it's nice, but put it down. Go back, do it the way it is in the book Alcoholics Anonymous. There's 4 columns. Okay, it's real simple. This, and this. Okay, keep it brief. Explore. Be fearless. Be thorough. Keep it brief. Okay, I don't need to know you that much. Okay, just your resentments. Let's start with that. Okay, all of them, absolutely. Thorough, fearless, absolutely. Because you're gonna do it again. But, you know what I mean? And then the fear list. The fear list is great. You know what's great about the fear list? Just looking at it afterward. Just how intensely ludicrous you are. Just how insane you truly are. The things you fear. It's unbelievable to sit there and look at it on paper and just go, oh my God, look what I'm afraid of. Wow. I'm a complete idiot. I've actually given this shit value. You might not think that the first time you do it, but about the second time, and some of that stuff the first time, you're gonna have to. If you got a good sponsor, I'm telling you, you're just gonna laugh at some of the stuff. But it is great to look at it out in front of you and see the power that we give this stuff. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It only happens up here. It only has value between my left ear and my right one. Nowhere else in the world does it have any value. And all other people get are just, they just get the consequences of my thinking that way, which is usually something painful, both to me and them. But they don't know what's going on. Only I know that. And only I can choose to believe it. When I was using and drinking, I believed it. When I got sober, I slowly began to disabuse myself of it. It's just abusive. You've suffered enough. I know I have. I don't buy into it anymore. Doesn't do me any good. I've had my up and down years. I've had years of not working, and my work's important to me. I know there are people in this town who go, you're not at your job. If you're an artist, it is. If you got a job like you, then it ain't. You're an agent. I think I was sober when I actually had the clarity to go, wait a minute, when I was a kid, no kid ever said, when I grow up, I want to be an agent. That's right. Oh. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I'll always have something of a resentment for that. That's just the way it goes, you know. Just keep working on it. That's all right. I don't have to forgive everybody today. You're human. You know, just because you have a feeling come up, don't try to, like, you know, drug it off with God or the program. You're going to have a feeling. You're going to have lots of feelings, you know, and you're entitled to them. When they start to cause you suffering and pain, maybe you might want to have a look. I might want to look at that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you really have to, you know, go stick an axe in the head of the guy who cut you off? Like, maybe that's not so good. But time. It's one thing they don't talk about enough in here. I think one of the girls mentioned it earlier, was taking a cake, but this too shall pass. It's cliche, but it's true. Time. The stuff that you really, you know, it's a bit, oh my God, I'm never gonna, yeah, you will. It's gonna pass. You know, a scab takes time to heal. Why don't other things? Be patient. And just every day try to be a little kinder to yourself. Better to yourself. You know, you deserve that. And that's what sobriety is to me. Learning to feel to my marrow that I deserve the life I want. And to be fearless. It's the only thing in my way. Thanks.
I'd like to thank Melissa for Chapter 5, and, wait a minute. I'm sorry, we gotta go back, don't we?
Continue.
Oh. And Jimmy for the 12 traditions. He didn't read it. Did I skip that?
No, yeah, it's all right. It was that's a demerit later. Don't feel bad about it.
Message. All right. Are there any secretary's announcements?
There's Robert.
I'm Robert. I'm alcoholic. Oh, wow. I always think that the stuff before me would come and say, we need to take a look at these sheets, and then we this and that, and by the time that the meeting's over, I just come up and I just want to read it right out of the book. So let's thank Michael for speaking tonight. And correspondingly, I thank Mark for leading a great meeting. To our out-of-towners and newcomers, yeah.
Michael Alcoholic. Hey, Michael. Tonight we were blessed with a whole bunch of newcomers. Eddie, Mike, Teddy, Eileen, Laura, Keith, or Keith, indeed, Keith, Victor, Kyle, Rezon, John, Ray, Alan, Henry, Katie, Bryce, Abby, and Allison. Yeah.
Awesome. And did we already do chips and birthdays or no? Yeah, it was in my head. It's fun. And when people have commitments at this meeting, stand and state your name and purpose. We'll clap afterwards. Your service.
I'm Jay, I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Jay. And H&I is that area of Alcoholics Anonymous that helps to bring literature and panels into hospitals, institutions, and jails, and places where we hope to spread the message of recovery to people who are feeling bad about feeling bad, and collectively we can help to not feel bad about feeling bad by spreading the message about a disease that they may not know they have. So please give generously, and if you want to get involved, see me after. Thanks.
Right.
I'm Leslie. I'm the seed saver.
Thank you, Leslie.
Mary, alcoholic. We're going to speak for water.
Mary.
I'm an alcoholic named Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
We recorded this meeting. If you'd like to see video of Michael's talk, come see me afterwards, and I'll have some next week. Just made a bunch of jimmies, so I still have those and some of the others from the past. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Mike, I'm an alcoholic. I do the literature at this meeting.
Cool, Mike.
I have big books with big print. I have small baby ones that fit in your pocket, medium softback ones, and hardcover.
Oh.
If you want to come see me, let me be of service.
Orion Alcoholic at the coffee.
Steady, Orion.
Jen, alcoholic. I love with chips.
It's Jen.
Alcoholic reader.
Mary.
Vivian, alcoholic, I bring the birthday cake, and I'm also filling in for Maya, who brings the food.
Thank you.
Linda, alcoholic. GFSR.
Dave Alcoholic Chips.
Yep.
My name's Paris, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Paris.
I'm the cleanup guy. I think I got enough guys to help me out. If anyone else wants to help me clean up, I'll be in the back. Thank you.
Swell.
The alcoholic, your treasurer.
Thank-
Tonight we collected $129.88, expenses $79.50, got $50 for the assessment.
All right. Thank you, one and all. We'll be up here signing court cards after. Please continue. Hi. Hey. Thanks again.
This has been a regular Wednesday night speaker meeting. Thank you for coming and keep coming back. After a moment of silent meditation for the alcoholic who still suffers, will Jimmy lead us in the Lord's Prayer?
Our Father,